Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which is a card without a name. I made a card quite some time ago which was a more box-like, like that. So I'm going to find that video that I made and I'm going to just put the name triangular in front of whatever I've called that one. I don't know whose original idea this was, but working it back, I can get the name to go back as far as somebody called Karen Varley. Apparently she didn't make a video, but she did show photographs of this, and I've been asked if I'd make a video to show how it's done. So here we go. This one I've used Share What You Love designer series paper, and I'm really pleased with it. The only thing that I did wrong here was I used a directional pattern in there, and as you can see that one is going the right way, that one's going sideways, and my next one I'm going to show you, I also used directional one, but it takes a lot to get to go the right way, so I really do recommend that you do not use directional patterns. Alright, I like the layout of this one, and that white scalloped circle underneath, I forgot to do it on the second one, so let me show you the second one. Okay, so this is in Flamingo, no, yes, Flirty Flamingo, and the designer series paper is All My Love, and as you can see I got the hearts going the right way, but instead of just having one square I cut 4 squares until I actually finished up with those. I tried to get my brain to work it out, but it couldn't, so I just kept cutting squares until I found it. So that's the second one. The way these are closed is like that. There's a magnet there and there's a magnet there. I've left that bit white, or at least I put a white piece in there so that you can write your sentiment. So when the card is actually on the shelf, it's like that. If you don't like the greeting to be hidden, you can always do your white on the bottom one there. That has been done like an easel card, and I'm sure there was one other thing that I was going to mention about this. It's gone, but I'm sure it will come back as I'm working. So I'll pop those two out of the way, and I'll show you the card pieces I'm going to be using. I'm going to be having a card base of Crumb Cake, and my designer series paper are 2 more designs from All My Love. Okay, so let me tell you what you're going to need, and I do need to have something, or let's use my silicone mat to put under each layer. I have got the metric measurements as well for this. So first of all you need a piece of Crumb Cake Cardstock which measures 8 inches by 8 inches, which is 20.3 by 20.3 centimetres. Then you need 2 pieces of Whisper White which measure these two. They measure 3 7/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches, which is 9.8 by 9.8 centimetres. Then you need another 2 pieces of Whisper White, and they measure 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.5 by 9.5 centimetres. And then this is my main design. So first of all you need one piece that's 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and that's going to go with one of those. That's the one that's going to be on its own. Then you need another piece of the main design, and that should measure 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 8.9 by 8.9. Sorry, did I say that that DSP was 9.5 by 9.5? Don't think I did. Right, so that one was 3.5 by 3.5, which is 8.9 by 8.9 centimetres, and that goes with one of those white pieces. I know it looks like there's a big edging around it, but it needs that because that one's going to be cut into a triangle. And then you need the contrast designer series paper, and that should measure 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 8.9 by 8.9 centimetres, and that's going to be going with that piece. And then you need a piece of crumb cake which measures 6 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 12.2 by 8.9 centimetres. And then you need a piece of crumb cake which measures 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 8.9 by 8.9. Now I've cut this one a bit short, but what you need is Whisper White, which measures 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 8.9 by 8.9. It should be the same size as that, but that is going to be big enough just about. But you stick to the 3.5. Mine's going to be a squeeze. And you also need Whisper White to do the flowers and the bird and the sentiment. Yeah, so that's it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this in like all the stamping, all the layering, and then all the die cutting, so I'll probably be jumping from here to there. But I will do my best to keep it all in one bit. So we'll do this and those two. That's all the die cut. That's the scoring. Okay, let's do scoring first. Right, so the first bit of scoring, wherever possible, I do prefer to use my scoreboard. If you use your trimmer, that's fine, because we are going to be using the trimmer to do some cutting as well. Right, so this piece here, which is your 6 inches by 3.5 inches, put it in your trimmer, landscape, and you need to trim this at 3 inches, which is 6.1 centimetres, and then at 4 3/8 inches, which is 11.1 centimetres. Okay, now the next bit of scoring, I do need to use my trimmer, otherwise I'm going to tell you about it and it's going to be so confusing. And I do try and work out the easiest way possible for you. Okay, so with your large piece, what you need to do first of all, I will still use this though, is put your cardstock in at 4 inches, which is 10.15 centimetres, and score all the way down from top to bottom. Okay, I'm just using my score tool there. Now if you turn that 90 degrees like that, now you need to score down to that score line. Okay, you don't want to come past it. So if you make sure you've got your scoring tool up there, I'm not sure it's not a scoring blade, whatever they call that bit, and your scoring blade right down the bottom this end. Okay, so first of all we're going to use the scoring tool to come down to 4 inches. Okay, so that should meet up with the score line there. Well, it certainly does now. Yep. Okay, so that's up to that one. And now with your cutting blade, if I move this up a little bit, now you want to cut from down here up to the 4 inches. Now if anything, I would suggest you fall a bit short because it's easier just to use your paper snips to cut a little bit extra. Right, there we go, that's lovely. Alright, so to me that's like a pair of trousers. That's the body and they're the legs. Now the next bit of scoring you need to do is, if you keep the trouser legs down here, you've got to work on the top bit, on the body, and you need to score from that score line there down to that score line, and the same on the other side. So we do that by, let me bring this down a bit again. Right, so we do that by putting that score line into that part of the cutting track. And I think you can just about see this, can't you? Oh, that's better. Right, so that one's into that cutting track. And that one's into that cutting track. Just make sure I'm still in there. Right. And now, oops, get your cutting blade out of the way. And now score diagonally across here. And now we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so I've still got 2 trouser legs down here. Right, so that's where the cutting track is, and that's in the cutting track as well. Right, now I'm going to score. I'm not pressing very hard on here because that cutting track, there's quite a big dip in there and I don't want to go right the way through. Okay, so now you should have on your body the diagonal line there, and then your straight line there, and then the 2 diagonals there. Okay, and that's all we need to do with that one for the time being. Now, just trying to think ahead here. So those 2 for die cutting. Right, now this one, we need to slice both of these in half diagonally. Okay. What I'll do is, when I put all the measurements and everything in the box below the video, which you can access if you're watching this on YouTube, I will pair up the pieces so that you know which Whisper White goes with which piece of Design Series paper. Okay, so that is all nicely lined up. Now when you're doing using your cutting blade and you're doing straight into a point, start your cut off just a little bit up, because if you take your cutting blade straight up to a point, it's very possible that you could actually scrunch that up. So what I do, and I do this quickly without stopping, I come down and then straight back up again. Now if you've moved that at all, you'll have a little thin sliced bit there, which is what I did on the pink one, but it's no big problem because you just cut that little bit off. But if you do a big cut, you probably have to start again. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one diagonally with my cutting blade, bring that back, and again I'm starting off in the middle of my Designer Series paper here. There we go, so those 2 go with those 2 pieces, and then I've got the same size square, and I'm going to cut that one exactly the same. Okay, so I've got my blade already onto my paper, so I'll do that down and up, and then this one. Okay, both points are in the cutting track. and my blade is already on my designer series paper. Okay, so that's those two go with those two. That's the plain sheet and that goes with the square. And I think that is it for the trimmer. I think. Keep it close by just in case I think of something else. Right, before we go too much further, we're going to fold this. Oh, what was that? That was my silicone mat just dropping on the floor. We're going to fold this piece first. So let's see, I've got my mountain folds, score lines there. So first of all, fold one of the trouser legs up and over the body. Make sure it lines up really nicely here, and then a really good crease both sides, and then do the other trouser leg. Line it up beautifully and then crease it really, really well. Okay, so now you need to fold the body in half. Right, still folding the same way as you folded the trouser leg. Make sure that's folded up really nicely. Okay, so there are all our folds. Now we need to turn our cardstock over. And with these, we need to fold our triangles down, and that triangle should meet up down there, and that one should meet up down there. What I do is I try not to crease that too much, and I get that over there first, just to make sure I've done it correctly. On the pink one, I didn't do one of them very well at all, so I had to force it into the position I wanted it to go. But these appear to be fine. Okay, so give them a good crease. So there we go, that's fine. So this is how our card is going to be working. Okay. So I'm going to start putting my layers on, and first of all I'm going to start with my contrast, and that is going to be going on there, and likewise with the other one. So we're going to give Tombo a really good workout today. And of course we're going to be using magnets again today as well. And this time I will try not to forget about the link, which is what I did last time. Okay, so just put this DSP on top of the Whisper White and try and leave the same amount of gap all the way round. And then this one. I have to say I was getting so frustrated when I was trying to cut the corner bits for the pink card, the flamingo, flirty flamingo. I can't believe that I had to cut 4 of them. There must have been a way of working it out. Whatever the way was, it bypassed me. Right, now I'm doing the main design on my designer series paper. There's that one. This does make a very thick card when it's folded up and put in an envelope. In fact, I didn't show you how it folded up, did I? I will show you that. And it would go through the post. But I'm not sure that I would actually recommend that. Partly because the recipient wouldn't really know what to do with the card, how to stand it up and get the best out of it. So I think it's probably the kind of card that I would give to somebody. Alright, now I'm going to put these onto here. Come back, I haven't finished with you. So the two contrasts go onto those two there. Quite a little panic there, thinking, oh no, my magnets. But I haven't got to that bit yet. Right, so that goes into there, and again, leave an equal distance all the way round. And then this one. I know it can be a bit tedious watching while I'm doing something so repetitive like this, but please do use the fast forward button if you don't want to sit there watching. I won't know that you're using it, so I won't be offended. Right, there you go. And that is what it's there for. Right, now I'm going to do these other two. Get this round the right way. And then this one. I don't know how people think up these ideas, I really don't. Although, having said that, it has given me an idea as well, so I suppose they must see something, and it inspires them to try something. Which is great, because it means card making is always changing. There's always something different to try. Right, there we go. So that's that. Now we've got to think about the magnets. Let's just pop these two together first. The magnets are really, really strong that I buy, so they're quite happy to be underneath 2 layers of cardstock. Oops, don't get stuck down yet. Wrong position. That's better. Much, much better. Okay. Right. Same sort of way to put your magnets on as before. And that is, I need one on this corner. And what I do is, in fact, let me use that one. That one was a, I'd used it before, but I did something wrong with it, so I had to pull it off, and I'd got glue on the wrong side, because there's a right side and a wrong side with 2 magnets. So I am going to pop this one about there. I don't like leaving mine too close to the edge, because I like to make sure that I can get all of that adhered down properly. So your first magnet, doesn't matter which way down you put it. And then to put this on top, first of all, I put glue around here, but I make sure I don't go too close to the edge because there's going to be a little edge around this. Okay, so that makes sure that the magnet will get well sealed in. And then put some Tombow on here. And just put extra little bit in a corner. So that corner comes down here. There we go. Make sure you get it really adhered down. Make sure you get it adhered down really well. And while I'm working on the next bit, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a helping hand with my clothes pegs. Have I got any more there? I thought I did. Oh, there's one. Okay. It'll only take a few seconds. Now I need another magnet. Put that there. These are very brittle. They're like ours on the Stamperators. If you let them smack together, they'll break. If you saw my last video, you'll see me do that. Right, now we need this to come over there, so we need our magnet on this one. So that'll be fine for that. So if you take your magnet, and it will only stick on there one way. As I say, it's a negative and a positive. Now to find out where this is going to go, if you put some glue on there, and then first of all stand that up where it's going to be fitting into your card, and then bring this flap up and line them up like that. Just give the magnet a little squeeze so you finish up with a little bit of glue there, and you know exactly where your magnet has got to go. And you know the sticky bit is a bit that's got to go down. Okay, so we are now going to adhere this down exactly the same way as before. So we'll put some more glue on the top and all around without going too close to the edge. There we go. And then all over here. Let's just turn this round. We'll make this a corner that we're going to put extra glue in. Then we're going to pop that in. So we've got a little edging all around. And hopefully the white lines up with the white on that side. That doesn't look terribly straight, can I? Have I got time to pull it over? No, I don't think so. Nope. Come on, please, let go. Oh, I think I might have done that. Let's come over a little bit. That's not too bad. Right, okay, shall I just put some pegs on that? And while I'm just giving that a few minutes, I'll bring one of the other cards back and I'll show you how the best way to close the card. And they do fit into our standard envelopes, standard Stampin' Up! Envelopes. Okay, so as I say, this bit is the easel card, so you fold that down. Now what I did find with this is, although that's okay to stick out a bit, it's not a good idea because it keeps catching on that. It will fold down without, but you have to be so careful. Anyway, so what you do is you fold that down and then you separate the magnets. And the best way to do it is to fold these two up and then fold it closed like that. Okay, if you try folding it that way, it is putting extra stress onto that side. Not a good idea. And you will notice that you can see your magnets from the back there. You see the bumps? Yes, you can. Okay. And that's just a plain white one. I need to finish this off. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. What I did on the pink one and what I'm going to do on this one is I put one of those little flowers there. Okay, so it makes the bump less obvious. Okay, and where these are sticking out are at the bottom, so there's no problem as far as knocking against the card is concerned. Right, that's good enough. I need to do that. I've done all my other stamping, die cutting and everything. Okay, so that's like that. So I will do just one little bit with you. Shall I do one more of everything? I think so, but I'm not going to finish them all off now. Otherwise it just takes far too long. But at least I can show you how I do the colouring. Most importantly is this large stamp, and I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm using my blends for colouring. Now this is one I do really need. Have I left enough room there? Yes, good. Okay, and then this one. The sentiment is, life is so much better with you in it. As you know, this stamp set is my real go-to stamp set. Right, I haven't really done much about the... Oh, that's all right, because that's a big shot. So at the moment I'm keeping everything together nicely. Right, so these are my stamping blends, and I've got Lovely Lipstick, light and dark, Crumb Cake, light and dark, Soft Sea Foam, light and dark. Yep. So for the bird, you've probably seen me do this before. I need the light colour first, and I just colour him all over. And he's the only one where I actually colour over the lighter bits on the black. I just feel he needs it. Okay, so that's the light. The dark, I do the wings. That's part of the wings as far as I'm concerned. And then come around the body and onto his tummy. Then by his wing, and then a bit by his head as well. And when you're doing blending and you're doing light and dark, you should do it so that you're not letting it dry in between times. Okay, so that's the bird. This is the one I need. So I'll do the light Soft Sea Foam. Obviously with leads as small as this you can't really do very much. So just do the lights. and then the dark. And of course this is such a light colour anyway, so I'm quite happy to leave them like that. And light, lovely lipstick. And for that I just go all over the flower. And then I come in with the darker one and I just go around the edges. Again, working with this so that it doesn't dry in between using the light and dark. Okay, so that's that one. We go back to the light one and blend it in. Okay, and what I did with the sentiment, I used my dark lovely lipstick and I treated those as petals. Okay, so that's got a little bit of colour to it. Now, how I did these, I will just show you these ones here, I think. Okay, so the light soft sea foam, go all over the leaves, and then with the dark one just go around all the edges. As I say, this is such a light colour, it's very difficult to see that there is a darker colour around the edge. And then with the light one again, just blend the two in. Okay, I'll do just one flower with the light lovely lipstick. I think this is probably the smallest one, isn't it? I'm never sure whether those two there are leaves or not. What do I do with them normally? I've got the bird on them. Oh yeah, I do leave them as leaves. Right, now take the dark lovely lipstick and I'm just going around the top of each of the petals. There's absolutely no right or wrong to this. Now we go back to the light again and then just blend the two together. Okay, I'll bring it up so that you can see it. Particularly have a look at the green. You may be able to see there's a bit of shading there. In fact, I think you can. Okay, I will finish all that off once I finished the video. So what I'm going to do now is bring the big shot over. I'm going to die cut just the flower there, that's all I need, and I'm going to do these. Sorry, I've forgotten to tell you the stamp set and everything that I'm using. So the stamp set is Petal Palette, which is a two box set, and has been used so many times by me. I just absolutely love it. I think it's great. And then the dies I'm using, from the layering circles, I'm using the largest scalloped circle. From the stitched shape framelits, I'm using the largest circle. From the petal palette, if I was die cutting them all, I would be using that for the big flower, that for the bird, and that for the one that I am going to be die cutting. And then for the sentiment, I've been using the, what I call the odd one out of the rectangle stitched framelits. Well, let's see if we can do it. If it does it as one piece, if it lets me do it as one piece, then I'll die cut that as well. But if it doesn't, then I'm not going to argue with it. As I say, I've already done all my pieces and they're sitting over there upside down with their glue dots on. Not glue dots, dimensionals. Right, so let's do these two first. Now my white should be the same size as that, and my die should fit on as easily as that, but I cut it short. So it is going to be on a wing and a prayer. Okay, let me just tip that and make sure it looks about even. I think, otherwise I'm going to panic. There we go. Oh, we've got another piece, haven't we? That seems to have gone walkabouts. So there's that one. Oh my goodness, that is a tad short there. So I am still going to use it, but I'm going to put it to the back so it's not seen. Right, so where's my other bit of... I did bring it over because we've done the scoring on it. So let's get rid of that. And get rid of that. Pop those over there. Have I put you underneath it? Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this piece, before we put that through the big shop, what we need to do with it is to fold it on the halfway mark. Don't fold that other one. So just fold that in half. Give it a good creasing. Let's bring that one back again. Now we need the stitched shape circle, and what we're going to do is, I think it's with the plain side facing up, we're going to put our circle on there so that all of this fits on, okay, which means that if you turn it over you'll see the cutting part is off. Okay, that means we're going to get a join there. I'm just going to leave those two together. Okay, I've calculated the size of this cardstock so that that's how it will happen. If you're not confident, when you put this on here, just make sure you can see a bit of the light coming through there. You see that? Yeah. You just need a tiny bit, but I know that the size of this cardstock, although I can't see through there, I know it's going to be big enough. So that's that. Okay, so our cardstock is going to be joined. So that's going to be for our, been calling it, saying the name all afternoon. What's it? Easel. That'll be our easel part. That's for that. And, oh yeah, we've got to die cut this, haven't we? Knew there was something else. So first of all the flowers, because I do need that. Okay, that's happy. Now let's see if this is happy as well. If not, I'm going to give up on it. I'm not going to... No. definitely not going to worry about that now. As long as my flower is okay. There we go. I am surprised that I've been able to get all the jobs done without, for example, I mean, without getting the big shot here, putting it back, bringing it over, putting it back. I'm surprised that I've been able to do it all in one go. That's worked because I hadn't thought about it. Right, okay, bring my card back again. And before I do anything, let's separate that, and I'm going to pop this onto my bump. And that I am just going to put on to, put it on with glue. You could use dimensionals if you wanted to. The only thing I would say about dimensionals on this card is that you put on plenty of them, because the card is going to be closed, and if you've left any kind of bits unsupported, it's going to be very easy for them to get crushed. Okay, so there's that. Now you can see all the dimensionals I've put on mine. They've got stuck to my blends. That's it. Okay, I have really used loads. I mean, I'm normally generous with my dimensionals, but I'm not normally that generous. Right, now what we do with these pieces is, where you have die cut and you've got the best stitches at the front, you need to bring this over so you've got your score line there, and then you need to fold on that score line and give that a really good crease. So this is going to be your easel. So first of all, let's pop this bit on there, and I'm going to put the glue onto this part. That makes sure that I don't get glue in any wrong places. And what I tend to do is, I put it like that, and then on there, it's quite easy to make sure I get it into the right place. Okay, so that's going to be up like that. You haven't got that down far enough. Well, that was silly, wasn't it? I've got a little bit showing over there. Now you're either going to be, oh, I'm not going to worry about that little bit, or you're going to be like me and say, I thought I'll cut that off. Right, these are my scissors. Shall I cut it off? It's not going to be seen, is it? No, it won't be seen. Okay, so I'm just following around the circle of the front bit. Even if it is seen from the back, oh, it's not going to notice at all. Oh, that's good. Glad I did that. So if you do that, you can get yourself out of it quite easily. This bit needs to go on the base. So mine's going like that. The bit where it's a bit short is there. So that's going to go at the back. So I'll put Tombow on here. Make sure you do it on the right piece. Okay. Now this, you would only have a very small amount of the scallop showing. Where have you gone? So small I can hardly see it. Oh, there it is. It's crazy. think it's that. When I look at it sideways, I really cannot see it. There we go. So just a, oh yes, I can. Right, so there we go. There's that. So let me put the card up. We're going to pop that in there, but before we do it, I think I did do my flowers first, didn't I? So what did I do with those? They're here. Right. Now I like the way I did this on the pink, so let me just put that in my view. So that was with all the leaves up there, so any bits that stand out like this and this, they're at the bottom. And for this, now this is, I do use my grid paper for this, and what I do is, so that I can decide exactly where this is to go, I line this fold with a line so that I know that the line that's going up to that fold is the same as that line there, so I know this is straight. And then I can put this down here and make sure that this is straight with this line and that line over there. So when you stand this up, it will be nice and straight. Now on the pink one, I put the bird up here, but I don't like it like that. I prefer it like I did on this one with the flowers. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do on here. So where's my bird? Now I didn't put so many dimensionals on here because I didn't know whether I would be putting him over the flowers or not. It's one of those decisions you can't make until you're actually doing it, because you don't really know exactly where your flowers are going to be going. Right, I'm going to have to take that dimensional off just a little bit from his head, but that little bit is pushing out from the top. There we go, that's better. So there's no dimensionals under him here, and I've taken it off from his head as well, so that's fine. Now I'm going to pop that down, sellotape, Tombow on here. Just pop this on the inside. Oops. This I do like to have in the centre of the base there. So that is that way around. Okay, so right in the centre. So that will stand up like that. Now the other two flowers, I have one for there and one for there. Now I haven't put any bling on mine at all, because the way this is going to fold up, if there's rhinestones or pearls, they could crush the any of the embellishments in there, and I just didn't think it was worth taking a chance. What I did with the pink one is that I've painted over everything using Winter Stella, and I think I might do this, but I'll do that off of camera because you don't need to see me doing that. Although if you've never seen anybody using Winter Stella, let me just do one. what I do is I just paint the flowers, the leaves. I don't worry about the stem. Like that. And I just go round all of them doing that. It doesn't normally show up in photographs, but when you see this in real life, it is stunning, really beautiful. So there we go. That's today's project. I really hope you like it. As I say, not sure what I'm going to call it yet. I'm tipping it up so it's falling backwards. But it's such a different idea. I hope you give it a try. So there's that one. There's that one. Both of those are from All My Love. And this is the one that's from Share What You Love. Can't get them all in the screen here, but never mind. All the pictures will be on my blog on Sunday, which is when this will go live. And that will be, what, Sunday the 17th of March 2019. So many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video, which is only accessible if you're watching this on YouTube. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, there'll be a link to my 24/7 shop in the box below. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally twice a week, please click on the subscribe now button in the corner there, and then on the bell, which will indicate that you want to receive the notifications. Also, I have a Facebook group called Happy Crafting, which is a place for all of us to share the projects that we make, whether it's something that you've been inspired to make because of what I've done, or something totally different, and it doesn't have to be using Stampin' Up products, because I do realise that not everybody has access to them. So it'd be lovely to see you over there, and again the link for that is in the box below. Many thanks for joining me. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.